Alright, hi my learners, teacher Mwenye here and welcome to my channel, Learn with Mr. Mwenye. So we are starting a new topic and that is the Adolf Hitler of Germany. Adolf Hitler of Germany. So, in the beginning of this topic, it's important to first understand the early life of Adolf Hitler. It is very much important to understand Adolf Hitler's early life. So, briefly, what can we say? Hitler was born in 1889 in a small town of Austria. Okay? Hitler was born in 1889 in a small Austrian town of Braun am Inn. Braun am Inn. This is one name, by the way. So in other words, we can say Adolf Hitler is born in a province just next to Germany's territory, that is the Austrian. So you can see in the name the Austrian. So you can say he was both German as well as Austrian. He began school in 1900 and his grades were above average. He was not so bad, he was not the excellent child, again he was not too poor, just the average. It was decided that he would attend real school. This should be a German name, a secondary school that prepared students for further study. His father had desired that Adolf Hitler should attend a very good secondary school. Why? It is because they wanted him to have further studies, they wanted him to have a career by going to a very nice school. However, Hitler and his father strongly differed about career. We all have that point where parents want you to do a particular thing. Hitler's father worked for civil service. He worked for civil service, meaning teacher, nurses, counselor, and whatnot. He worked for civil service. So his father wanted him to have a career in civil service, whilst his father wanted him to enter civil service, but Hitler insisted on becoming an artist, a painter, drawing and whatnot. As a result, Hitler did poorly in real school, having to repeat the first year and proving. As a result, Hitler did poorly in real school, having to repeat the first year and improving little thereafter. What we are saying is that, when you are forcing someone what to do, they may not end up being so good at it. So Hitler actually proved to be the case because of what he didn't like. Okay? So what can we say? During this time, Hitler began to form his political views. One, a strong sense of German nationalism, the beginning of anti-Semitism, which is hostility or prejudice, overjudging, or discrimination against the Jews. That is what you call anti-Semitism, and also a detest for the ruling family and the political structure of Austria-Hungary. In other words, what they're telling us, just as a teenager, at the time he was a teenager, he began to form his own views about what he was seeing in society. You understand that when someone is a teenager, that's the time they begin to have their own personal views about something. So personal views, a sense of German nationalism, meaning loyalty to Germany. Anti-Semitism, he did not like the Germans who were living in the Jews who were living in Germany, and also just the way the structure was, the political structure of Austria-Hungary. Now, the unfortunate thing followed, that the death of Hitler's father in January 1903 changed the family drastically. We all know when the breadwinner dies, problems come in and decisions are made. You will find that the survivor's income was inadequate to Hitler, his mother and sister. The absence of a dominant father figure changed Hitler's position in the family. As soon as his father died, we are told that that changed the way Hitler looked at life. As such, he spent much time playing and doing wrong things, such that he did poorly in his studies at school and left school entirely in 1905. You know, let's call him a dropout, a school dropout. Yes, he dropped out. And he only learned up to what we can call the 9th grade. He only attained the 9th grade. Further, after dropping out of school, he pursued a career in arts, drawing, painting. Obviously, you know people that like to paint. But he didn't do so well. But it is something that gave him a little income. He was actually rejected even at Vienna's Academy of Fine Arts when he tried to go to a new environment, a new place where he could participate in making money or economic gain through this Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. He was not accepted. He continued to practice his artistic work. He spent some years in Vienna, which is the capital city of Austria, where he developed more of his political ideas of Nazi. In other words, whilst he was in Vienna, he continued to contemplate, to think about how he could join politics. 1913, going forward, he moved back to Munich, and this is in Germany, 1913. And the World War I, as you know it broke out in 1914. And having the sense of patriotism, he requested to join as a volunteer in a reserve infantry army. He went and suggested that he could as well participate in fighting. And he was deployed in Belgium. Most of you will remember that one of the countries that Germany attacked at the beginning of the World War I was Belgium, which they wanted to attack through France, going to France, where he served and he was awarded even 2 decorations. You know, soldiers are usually given ranks. So he was given 2 decorations for his bravery. Unfortunately, he was, however, wounded during the World War I. That he was even hospitalized. You know, people are wounded during war. It was during this time of being in hospital that news reached him that Germany had been defeated by the Allied powers. We all know that Germany lost war in 1918. Hitler, however, had strongly believed that the country's defeat was largely due to traitors of the Weimar Republic. He believed that the people that accepted to sign the defeat of Germany did more harm than good. He actually believed that Germany would go on to win the war. So he had strong dislike or hatred for the people that signed the loss of the war. Shall we proceed?
Yes, that.
All right. So Hitler had so much dislike, or he detested the Weimar Republic. So he then took up the political side of undermining the Weimar government. You will realize that the Weimar government was first ruled, or the first president, his first president was Friedrich Ebert. He began undermining the authority. And the first step he did in undermining the authority is by joining a political party called German Workers' Party. This is the same Nazi, by the way, but it was first called German Workers' Party, which aimed at uniting the interests of working class with a strong German nationalism. His desire was to fight the Weimar government through a political system or structure of German Workers' Party. Now, his skilled oratory, meaning speaking fluently, he was blessed, he had the skill of speaking so well, and charismatic, meaning charming personality, energy, helped him to rise in the party's ranks. You know, people start just as ordinary members, then eventually they ascend to the highest office. Yes, he rose to the party's ranks and structure such that in 1920, he became the president of German Workers' Party. As a president, he even campaigned for the change of name. Of the party's name, now to be called National Socialist German Workers' Party. National Socialist German Workers' Party. If you can see here, the name is just changing on the first two names here. German Workers' Party remains, National Socialist is what is added to the front. Shortly or famously, it was now called the Nazi Party as we know it, the Nazi Party. In the next lesson, we shall be talking about the rise of the Nazi Party and Adolf Hitler's political influence in Germany. This has been Teacher Monya. Join me until next time. Bye.